I want to welcome all of you here today. It looks like we got a good full crowd, which is great. I've got a few comments which I will share with you in a few moments, but first I want to get right to the heart of the matter, which is our first speaker this morning, and that is the Deputy Prime Minister, Tarō, who also serves as the Minister of Finance, the Minister of State for Financial Services, and someone who's been a good friend to me and a good friend to the IF whenever I come to Tokyo, which is on a pretty regular basis. He always opens his door for us. We always have a very delightful conversation, and he's always interested in problem solving. And I also appreciate his comments over the past week with respect to the importance of multilateralism in solving trade challenges through multilateral institutions. I think that's a voice that must be echoed as we head into the G20 meetings later this week. In addition to the numerous titles he currently holds, he certainly has had a distinguished career in the public service. He's previously as Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Minister of Internal Affairs and Communications. He's been a member of the Diet since 1979, elected 13 times, re-elected 13 times. And the most interesting factoid is that he was in the 1976 Montreal Olympics on the Japanese shooting team. So I wouldn't get in his way, especially if he has a firearm with him, because he is one of the world's best shooters. So with that, I want to take this opportunity to invite on stage our first and one of our most distinguished guests over the next couple of days, the Vice Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, and the Minister of Finance, Tarō. Please come on. Thank you very much.
May I start? May I start now? Is it okay? Thank you very much. Well, I can't see from here. Good morning. I am Tarō. Well, I would like to extend a warm welcome to everyone here from all the way from different parts of the huge world. Axel Weber, the chairman who kindly visited our office yesterday, in particular, the Tim Adams, the president, the chief executive officer of the IIF, and express my thanks for the invitation for deliver these remarks today. I'm delighted to see that the agenda of this year's IIF Spring Members Meeting is closely aligned with the Japan priority for the G20 presidency in Fukuoka this weekend. Contribution by you, the distinguished representatives of the private sector, are very important for the success of the G20. Ladies and gentlemen, before we head off to Fukuoka, a vibrant city known for its hospitality and a long history of close ties to Asia, geographically, historically, and also my hometown. Let me share with you my vision for the G20. As you may know, I took a part in the very first G20 summit meeting in 2008 as the Prime Minister of Japan, which was tasked with responding to the global financial crisis. In the wake of the Lehman Brothers collapse or bankruptcy. Since then, I have been a strong proponent of the G20. I believe in its power to enhance the mutual international cooperation in addressing the key challenges faced by the international community. Now that the global financial crisis is in a way behind us, but it is still high time, the G20 turn to tackling longer-term structural issues while addressing the remaining risk of financial stability. Two of them that Japan views are priorities and have Therefore, placed on this year's G20 agendas are 1. Aging and its associated challenges, and 2. Global external imbalances, which has narrowed but still persist. Ladies and gentlemen, let me now turn to some of the key areas we will be focusing on in Fukuoka, which are also relevant to the IIF. First, the global economy. Getting together in Washington, D.C. for the spring meeting of the IMF and the World Bank's global economy discussed at IMF. G20 finance ministers and the central bank's governors noted that the global expansion continues, albeit at a slower pace than anticipated, with risk remaining tilted to the downside. Against this backdrop, we pledge to continue upholding the G20 goals of achieving stronger, more sustainable, balanced, and inclusive growth. For Japan, His Majesty the Emperor's accession to the imperial throne on the first day of May marked the beginning of a new era named Reiwa, or the beautiful harmony. This sentiment captures a vision of the world we want to live in and build the world together. In support of this vision, Abenomics keeps focused on boosting Japan's economy for the benefit of sectors from the household to corporates. Second, renewed focus on the global imbalances. Heated debates between deficit and surplus economic is nothing new. However, the tensions are rising. With tariff increase and non-tariff measures materializing in many parts of the world, under the Japanese presidency, the G20 is analyzing the key drivers of imbalances, exploring the policy option to mitigate the associated risk. The current account today looks quite different from what it used to be. Trade is good was traditionally and single most important driver of the current account. It has given way to other components such as earnings on foreign investment and trade in services. This is also the case of Japan in 2018, last year. Our trade balance was almost zero, while we recorded a surplus of about 4% of GDP due to foreign investment income. As you well know, the current account balance is a reflection of the state of national economy, or in other words, the saving and investment balance. As such, the external imbalance can be a warning sign of domestic imbalances, such as rising the corporate savings or overheating the asset market. As was observed in the run-up to the 2008 crisis, Lehman crisis, 2008 crisis, and precociously the household savings, where social security coverage is insufficient. The last element can be addressed, for example, by building the effective pension system. Third key agenda item is debt sustainability and transparency in low-income countries, or ILC, low-income countries. Sorry. Rising debt vulnerabilities and the lack of the debt transparency in many of these countries remain a cause for concern among the international community. The financial landscape of LIC means low-income countries, LIC has changed fundamentally in the last couple of decades. The presence of the private creditors has increased substantially together with emerging official lenders. In this context, I commend the IIF for its strong leadership in developing the principle for debt transparency for private sector creditors. Going forward, joint effort by the borrowers and the creditors, both public and private, are critical. I encourage the IIF and its members to continue closely working with us to address the global challenges. Fourth agenda item is the financial market fragmentation. Attaining an open and resilient global financial system has always been the common goal of the global regulatory communities. However, cross-border difference in regulation and supervision can fragment financial market and may impair the financial stability. Such fragmentation can also harm the G20 objective of the sustainable, balanced, and inclusive growth by hindering the different global allocation of capital and reducing the market liquidity. Last December, G20 leaders declared in Buenos Aires and that they will address the fragmentation through a regulatory and supervisory cooperation. I believe that this remarkable step has given the world a new impetus to maintain an open global financial system. I place this critically important issue as a priority for the Japanese G20 presidency this year. While addressing the market fragmentation is not an easy task, G20 members have made good progress so far, thanks to the dedicated works by the FSB and IOSCO. We would explore the further ideas to help prevent a future proliferation of market fragmentation and look forward to the market principle contribution as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me now conclude as I mentioned at the outset of my remarks. I am confident that the G20 will benefit from working closely with the private sector, in particular the IIF, that represent the global financial industry. I look forward to fostering the closer international cooperation through the G20 community, both public and private, to help build a new world with enhance the prosperity and stability. Thank you very much.